I will start. Yes. So now we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Thank you for joining. My name is Elena Griniuk, and I'm Regional Director for the Central Eastern Europe at the SME Banking Club, and I will be a host today. And today we decided to discuss the topic of SME customers' liquidity management and actually deposit products for SMEs. And I'm glad to be joined. I would like to present Lisa Schmidt, Head of Business Clients at Raisin, which is a fintech deposit marketplace for retail and business customers based in Germany. Hello, Lisa, and thank you very much for joining.
Hi, Elena.
So before we switch to the topic, let me shortly mention some organizational moments. So our webinar is scheduled for half an hour. We are recording this webinar, so right after we finish, you will receive a link to the video. And in the end of the webinar, we're gonna have time for your questions. So please type your questions into the chat. So let's now go to the topic. It's actually an interesting topic today, as we more often speak, about SME finance and access to SME finance. While the topic of liquidity management and liquidity support for SMEs seems to be less popular. Well, I would say that SMEs in general are poor in thinking of managing their liquidity, and which actually has an effect on their profitability. Now we are finalizing our this year's online banking study, and it will be published at the beginning of November. And what we see here that banks do provide an access to the deposit tools online. So meaning that 80% of banks that we analyze here in the Central Eastern Europe, they have an offer, and SME customers can open a deposit online via the online banking system. But the offer here is usually limited to 1 or 2 deposit products. So Lisa, what actually how Raisin is helping SMEs to manage their liquidity? What you can say on this? And maybe I will start from a question to you here. So which changes do you see in Raisin in terms of SME customers' behavior during the lockdown and after the lockdown period? So did they deposit less? Are there some, there should be some sectors or industries where SMEs are having excessive liquidity right now? And which trends actually do you notice from your Raisin customers?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the question, Olena, and for your great introduction. And regarding the change in behavior and the effect of the pandemic. So of course, when it all started in March, we were also unsecure on, as everyone was, on how this would affect the behavior in terms of placing excess liquidity in deposits. And what we actually noticed is, so now talking for German SME clients, that the need to avoid penalty interest rates, which are very common here and nowadays, has become even more urgent. Of course, there's a higher need for security, and thirdly, a higher need for flexibility. And luckily, we could offer those products. So of course, there's been a shift from term deposit more to overnight or shorter maturities below 1 year. And we were in a lucky position to be able to offer those kind of products on our marketplace. We were actually able to keep the momentum and grow the platform despite the pandemic.
Yeah, great. So please tell us how actually Raisin in detail are helping SMEs with the liquidity management, and then we will have some more questions too.
Yeah, great. I'm happy to introduce you to Raisin now. So for roughly 15 to 20 minutes, I would say. And I have prepared a couple of slides about Raisin and its role as a pan-European marketplace for savings and investments. and how it helps in removing barriers in SME liquidity management. I will also introduce you to how we collaborate with banks at Raisin and why SMEs actually benefit from our marketplace and why it is a tool for effective liquidity management. So let's start with a short Raisin introduction. And what are we? What do we offer? So we are Raisin, a fintech based in Berlin, roughly 350 employees. We've been founded in 2013 and we are live since 2014. And we also have subsidiaries in New York, Frankfurt, Manchester, and Madrid. We mainly operate from Berlin, all of our European markets. And we offer a marketplace for savings and investments products. So it actually all started with one bank from one country in 2014 that offered exactly one product. I think it was a 2-year term deposit. And of course, this was not a marketplace back then. But since FiBank, our first partner bank from Bulgaria, joined our platform, many more banks joined, and we now offer a multitude of products. So from overnight products to term deposits, from a multitude of different banks. So the banks come in total from 24 countries across the European Union or European Economic Area. And we do not only offer those savings products, actually, we also added investment products, so ETF portfolios, and also pension products are also available via our marketplace. In terms of geographies, we are based in Germany, as I said. And ever since we launched on the German market, we added 8 further platforms. So we added an Austrian platform. Then we are also available for French and Spanish residents. We also have a UK platform, which is a standalone platform for GBP deposit products. And more recently, we also added a Dutch platform and an Irish platform. And we are also present with a pan-European platform where basically every European citizen can become a client and save with us or our partner banks. And this is Raisin.com. In Germany, we are known with the brand Weltsparen, and all the other countries are operated with our company name, which is Raisin. And talking about SME clients, for this, we are focused on actually the German market, where we offer to German SME clients overnight and term deposit products. So this is the Raisin marketplace in short. Now let me proceed with our business model, actually. And I want to explain you why banks collaborate with Raisin. So on the left side, as you can see, we have partner banks. And on the right side, we have clients. So we have individual clients and we have SME clients. And those partner banks offer their products and they gather clients either through our country platforms, which you can see on the top part. Those are the platforms that I mentioned earlier, or via our dedicated distribution channels. So for now, let's focus on the partner bank side. Why does a bank actually start the conversation with Raisin and end up offering term deposits or overnight products on our platform? So basically, the idea behind this business model is that the interest rate differences in the European Union are huge. And actually, the markets are very local. And rates are primarily driven by the following structural factors. So first of all, the competitive environment in banking varies tremendously country by country. So for example, in Germany, we have a super condensed banking sector with over 1,700 banks offering attracting clients. And for example, in Belgium, I actually counted this morning, we only have 24 banks. So there's a huge difference in terms of competitive environment between countries in the European Union. This is the first reason. And the second reason is that also the loan to deposit ratio varies significantly across countries. And furthermore, the sovereign rating and also the sovereign ceiling differs significantly among European Union countries. And this is also not likely to change in the foreseeable future. So there are many differences, and these differences represent barriers to SME clients, because for the clients, of course, it is difficult or not possible to take advantage of these interest rate differences. So we have very local offers, and it is difficult for clients to open accounts cross-border for language reasons, for regulatory barriers, KYC, and the whole hassle around this. And for a partner bank, now it makes a lot of sense to offer a product on our marketplace for SME, since they can leverage the interest rate differences, and they can significantly reduce their overall cost of funding, because Raisin takes care of a number of services for the bank. So Raisin takes care of the customer acquisition, Raisin takes care of customer service, of back office, document management. Raisin Bank also identifies the client. And for the bank, this is simply put an easy way to gather funding in a diversified way. So this is basically the reasons why we were able to attract so many banks on our marketplace. And now I want to briefly introduce you to the other way how we collaborate with banks, because as the title says, there are two partnership opportunities. So the partner banks, they are in need of funding. And on the lower part on the slide, you see the distribution banks. So those are actually banks or fintechs that want to reduce their excess liquidity, because it comes at a high cost for banks. And they want to offer a savings product or a solution for their clients. So what does Commerzbank, what does N26, what does Sparkassen or many cooperative banks in Germany do? They actually have to charge their clients negative interest rates. This is, of course, not good for the client relationship. And instead of losing the client, they actually introduce the client to the Raisin marketplace. And they present either, if you take the N26 example, present the offers from our partner banks in their app, seamlessly integrated, or the sales advisors present the Raisin proposition to the clients, and then the clients can actually place their excess liquidity with us, get positive interest rates, and the bank reduces the excess liquidity and keeps a happy customer. So those are the two ways how the Raisin marketplace interacts with banks. So on the one side, the partner banks, on the other side, the distribution banks. And now, briefly, some figures about Raisin to give you a bit of background on what we have achieved so far. So we have more than 100 partner banks on our different platforms, which acquire funding through us. Those banks are from 24 EEA countries. And in total, we have already brokered more than 27 billion euro to our partner banks. And Raisin as a company, we have raised approximately 200 million in equity funding from investors such as Goldman Sachs and PayPal, and also venture capital funds from, for example, Index Ventures or Ribbit Capital from Silicon Valley. This is a short introduction about Raisin to give you an idea on how we collaborate with banks and what the value proposition for banks is. Now let's come to the marketplace for SMEs. So to put it into context, now we are talking about how partner banks actually offer products to our clients. So we have built our SME platform where the main value proposition basically is that clients can avoid negative interest rates while benefiting from a deposit protection. So we offer a safe way for liquidity management. This is the onboarding and the account opening process is done in a completely digital way. And we are already offering a wide and extensive offering of different partner banks from different countries and different products ranging from a 1-month product or even an overnight product to a 6-year term deposit, for example, with Bank GPP in Luxembourg. So why do clients actually value us, and what problem are we solving for them? So of course, and also as I mentioned in the beginning, as the answer to Olena's question, security is a very, very important factor for our clients. And the deposits that we offer are actually protected by the National Deposit Guarantee Scheme up until 100,000 euro. And for our German banks, we even have an additional voluntary deposit protection scheme, which then ensures the full amount that a client can deposit. So up until 70 million is the highest amount. So we have security. Of course, the selection of our partner banks is super important because we need reliable partners. We, of course, put a high emphasis on evaluation and checks and make sure that we collaborate with very reliable partner banks. And then our promise to the client is that we offer the best interest rates. So actually, these days, SMEs can choose from over 30 products. And it ranges, as I already said, from daily availability, which is also in terms of flexibility a very, very important factor, up to longer durations of 6 years. And SMEs can place different amounts with those banks. It already starts at a minimum investment of 5,000 euro and goes up to 25 million per bank. And another important factor, and why this marketplace actually also becomes very convenient for the client, is that it is an easy way of signing up. So the managing director simply fills out the registration, gives us the data about the company, the legal representative, and the ultimate beneficial owners. Then we identify the legal representative of the company. And once the identification procedure has been completed and the data have been verified, the client gets access to a very intuitive and easy Raisin online banking system. And there, with one registration, with one identification, and at no cost, the client can then invest wherever he wants across borders inside the European Union. So it is really a very easy way. And for most of the banks, it works in a completely digital process. The client has his online banking, which is the central point, and he will then transfer funds from his current account to the Raisin bank account. And he tells us which amount he wants to invest where. And then we take care of the complete deposit opening process with a partner bank. So in no case the client has to deal with a bank from a country which language he probably doesn't speak. So we take care of all this communication with the bank, and we are the face to the client. Now, how does this concretely look like? To give you an idea of the offers we currently have on the platform. Here you see a couple of our partner banks. So the first two banks are German banks. Here it starts with an interest rate of 0.00%, which at first sight probably is not the most attractive. But if you look at the German market and the negative interest rates, which are prevailing for almost all SME clients at the big majority of the banks, this is actually a quite attractive offer. From GEFA Bank, which is part of Société Générale. Then we have Bankhaus August Lenz, which is a bank from Munich, which offers an overnight deposit at 16 basis points, which is also in huge demand. And then if we leave Germany, we have, for example, BGFI Bank from Paris, France, which offer very attractive interest rates up until 2.5% for a 3-year term deposit. And we also have our Fee Bank, which is, as I mentioned in the beginning, our first partner bank, who, for example, offers an overnight product to our clients. So yeah, these are a selection. This is a selection of the products we have available for our SME clients in Germany at the moment. And now that you've seen our offering to SME clients and also understood the value proposition, I also want to briefly introduce you to our distribution banks. So if you remember again the graphic on how we cooperate with banks, we've now talked about our partner banks and who those are and what they offer. And now I want to give you, to summarize and to end my presentation, a short short introduction on who those distribution banks in the SME segment actually are. So let's move to the next slide. Here you see that we have partnerships with banks such as Commerzbank, with Hausbank, which is a cooperative bank, one of the biggest in southern Germany, with many Sparkassen in Germany. And we also have partnerships with a PSD Bank or Volksbank, Sparda Bank, and MLP. And those banks offer our partner banks deposits products to their clients in a very easy way. So the client is forwarded to us, and then can deposit in our products. So obviously, this is also a very important pillar for our platform, and we get a lot of clients from either our partnerships or our direct platform, and this is basically this basically brings me to the end of my presentation, and I really hope that I could give you a good understanding of how Raisin collaborates with banks and what the business model behind this is, and also give you an understanding of our contribution to removing barriers for clients and how we contribute to making banking truly cross-border.
Lisa, thank you very much. Well, I'm encouraging our attendees to ask your questions. You can type that into the chat. We can have an additional like 5-10 minutes for the answer. So please ask your questions. Well, I have mine. This, if we can get back to this slide. So these are the like 4 banks that are offering, or you're partnering for the offers for SME customers, right? Did I understood this right?
This is a selection of banks. So in total on our SME platform, we have 10 banks. So we have a couple of more German banks. We have another French bank, and we have another bank from Luxembourg. Here I just put a selection to display the variety of offers ranging from like rather a well-known brand with low interest rates and the overnight products, and also the highest rates on the platform, to give you an idea of what clients can actually get for their money.
I have, so the next my question is, so you are a deposit broker, right? So you don't have a license. How actually the process of customer onboarding and KYC is happening? So does it go from the bank side? Because this probably customer should have already a business account, a current account to deposit money from. So theoretically, like the KYC should have been done earlier by the bank. So how could you please here describe a bit in detail?
Yeah, very interesting question. This actually also brings me to a point that I wanted to mention earlier, but that I forgot. So we are, as a broker, not licensed. Deposit brokerage does not require a license, as you correctly pointed out. And this also means that we cannot identify the clients. But I mentioned that the client registers and identifies. So there has to be another party in this construction. And this is actually Raisin Bank, formerly known as MHB Bank. This is a bank based in Frankfurt, which we acquired last year. So the bank now belongs to the group, and this is a fully licensed bank in Germany, and they perform the customer identification. So they, of course, they don't have branches, but the clients perform the identification via video ident or post ident at a branch of the German Post. And after successful identification, they perform all additional KYC and AML checks. And once successful, they open an account, a transaction account for the client, which is the account where the money sits before it goes to our partner banks. So yeah, this is like a non-interest-bearing account. It also doesn't cost anything. It is purely for the purpose before and after a deposit opening. And yeah, we decided to buy this bank last year, which is rather rare. Usually it's banks buying fintechs and not fintechs buying banks, because we basically then have control of the full value chain, and it is a clear advantage to have the servicing bank in-house, and this also sets us apart from our competitors.
Yes, if we've turned to that previous slide in terms of partnering banks, here's here. So what actually does it take for a bank to partner you? So which resources, I mean, the team, the costs, the time, what is needed here for the bank? And also my next question, maybe connected question is, is it goes more like a white label solution, or this is a co-branded, and how in the final way, how SME customer sees it in the online banking? So I understand that this is embedded to the online banking system or mobile banking, and the customer can or cannot differentiate that this is your product, for example.
So the first question was on what it takes for
bank to cooperate.
Yeah. So in terms of general hard requirement, the bank has to be licensed in the European Union. Of course, it can be a foreign branch or subsidiary from a bank outside of the European Union, but it has to have a license here in Europe. And then, of course, some of the banks we collaborate with are rather small, others are big, such as UniCredit here in Germany in the retail space. But we support the bank in the first step for the bank, if it's not from Germany, is the passporting. So we provide background information and the sheet for this to fulfill the regulatory process. And we support with on the legal side, on the IT side. It depends on what kind of integration the bank wants. So the bank can start with a manual solution which does not require any IT effort. So even small banks or banks with an IT department without capacity can easily start with a solution. And then in terms of marketing, we of course do everything for the bank. So the onboarding process is, of course, consists of many different work streams, but can be done really quickly and with limited resources. It doesn't take by default a year or longer to become partner bank. We have seen onboardings in a month or maybe even 3 weeks. We have also seen the opposite. We have also seen 3 years, but this rather because priorities shifted or resources were scarce at the bank. And then moving to your second question regarding white label. So how it works is that in our online banking and on our website, the client sees the logo of every partner bank and is fully aware that he chooses a deposit with this or that bank, and he actually enters into a direct contractual relationship with this bank. So here the banks present with their brands, present themselves with their brands. Some of the banks, they create their own brand for the German market. This is of course possible. And then we show their logos and their background information and bank description. And yeah, the customer sees all of those information in the Raisin online banking. And actually, you also mentioned a white label. So we do also offer a white label integration. This is rather for distribution banks. So for example, in the N26 integration or scalable or liquid integration, where the clients see our offers in the app and in the user experience of N26, there we are shown as a white label partner in the background. So there the Raisin brand or the Weltsparen brand is not so present, but at any point in time the client actively chooses the partner bank's brand.
Okay, so I see we don't have question from the attendees, so I have my last one, and then we can close the webinar. So do you notice any, I mean, during this last half a year, let's say, so during this lockdown and after lockdown, the difference between the behavior of individual customers at your platform at Raisin in the usage of deposit products and SMEs? Do you notice such any differences maybe at all?
So for individuals, I think, and as well as for SMEs, the need for safe and secure savings products has always been there and will always be there, probably even more in times of a crisis. Of course, at the beginning of the pandemic, maybe some clients were a little bit worried if they had made a deposit with a partner bank from Italy or from any other countries that were severely hit by the pandemic. But in general, I think, our solution is more relevant than ever, and for SMEs because of the penalty interest rates and the always decreasing interest rate level. It is very relevant.
Okay. I see. Thank you very much, Lisa, for today, for your contribution, and thank you, attendees, for staying with us till the end. So, as I mentioned, we will publish the video later on today, and everybody will receive the link. And so, thank you, and see you next time online. So, traditionally this year online. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Also from my side, thanks so much for the invitation and the organization and promotion of the event, Olena and SME Banking Club. It was really great.
From my side, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.